Hi, this is Sheri Ann Richerson from experimentalhomesteader.com, and today I'm going to be talking about the Silicone Baby Mold. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some white fondant. I'm going to roll it into a ball, and then I'm going to roll that into a little bit of cornstarch. The cornstarch is what's going to help it not stick to the mold, but you don't want it real thick and heavy. And then I'm going to take a portion of it that doesn't have any creases, and I'm going to push it down into, this is a little pillow for the baby's head. I want to push this in really well because I want to make sure we get it all the way in and that we're not missing out on anything. Okay, and then I'm going to take my cake knife and I'm going to gently cut this across like that. And then I'm going to press this down into the mold again. I think there's a few areas that we could use a little bit more fondant. So I'm going to roll this. You don't want the pieces that's down towards the mold to show any cracks or any areas where you've added fondant. But on this back side it's okay because that will be down towards the cake itself. Okay, this is what it looks like on the back side. Now, I think I've got a few areas that went over the mold just a little. So I can take my cake knife right now and I can deal with those. Or I can wait until I unmold it to deal with those. I'm going to set the white aside. And I'm going to open up this peach that I made. And the way that I made the peach was I used the white. And then I went and got some liquid peach-colored food coloring. I added 1 drop. That was all it took. And I kneaded it very, very well. Because if you don't knead fondant well, especially when you add food coloring, it's going to be kind of striped. You don't want that. Okay, now I'm going to have to work with this a little bit to soften it up. Just the heat from my hands is going to do that. Okay, I also want to turn this over because I've got some cornstarch down there. And I don't want that. I still see it. Let me go get one of my pastry brushes. Alright, here is one. Got a pastry brush and I'm just going to brush those little spots out because I don't want them in there. Okay. And then when I'm satisfied that this is fairly soft, I'm going to split it in half. I hope that there's enough here. I'm going to roll it just like that, both pieces. Do you see those cracks? Those are what you don't want. So I may have to work that again. But let me see how this one does, the piece I have in my hand. I think this still feels just a little bit hard. Okay, so I'm going to roll it. I still think we've got... This fondant can get really, really hard. It's a good idea to double wrap it when you save it to try to keep it soft. And then I'm just gonna take my hand like that, roll it in a little cornstarch because you don't want a lot, you just want a little bit. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with this back baby mold. I think I'll take it kind of oblong now, like that. And I might need to work it a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to press it down into the mold like this. You want to press good and firm, just like we did on the pillow. Make sure that's all down in there. Because if it's not, when you unmold it, it's not going to unmold right. And then you're going to be wasting your time. And you're going to end up frustrated. I'm going to take my thumb. I'm going to press this down again. That, to me, looks like that's molded in really well. So I'm going to go ahead and add this piece of fondant to the other piece. I'm going to have more than enough here, which is good. That was my intention. To make sure that I had colored just enough to 2 babies. Okay. I may have to actually knead this because I'm having, feels like it's just drying out a little bit. That's entirely possible. Like I said, I made it up last night. Okay. I'm going to roll it kind of oblong again. I'm really having a hard time for some reason getting the fondant this time to stick together like I want it and be smooth like I want it. And I do want to tell you, for those of you that are watching this and think, oh, I've never done this, I can't do it. I am not an expert. This is the first time, second time technically, that I've worked with molds like that. My first time was last night. And I'm going to show you that in just 1 minute. Okay. So like I said, the only issue I am having is this just feels a little bit dry. And I'm trying to work my way through that. Okay. I suspect that's probably just about as good as I'm going to get. So I'm going to roll it into another ball. You know, I'm just not very happy with that at all. And I read online, and we're going to try it right here on camera. I read online that just a little bit of piping gel could add in some moisture. So I just added some piping gel to this. And other than making my hands very sticky, we're going to see what happens. And it does. It does seem to be helping. So that's a good thing. Because like I said, it's very, very important to get the fondant smooth and get it in this mold correctly. So, okay. And I just dipped my finger in, for those of you that are wondering how much I used. I just dipped my finger in and got a little tiny dot, and look at that. That came out perfect. I'm getting just a little bit of the cornstarch now, not a lot. I'm hoping you guys can see this really good and how smooth this has actually turned out. And then I'm going to roll it kind of oblong like this, just like I did the last time. Okay, and I'm going to press that in. When this baby comes out of here, I will actually attach the 2 sides of the baby together with piping gel. Okay. Kind of messed that baby up, but it's okay. I can fix that. Okay. There's a little piece of fondant there that's not, you know, okay, not quite right. Alright. And this is what it looks like in the mold. I'm going to put this in the freezer for 20 minutes. And then when it comes out, I'm going to unmold it. And this is a baby. Let me put this fondant away really quick. I just have a small piece of peach left. And I want to fold it up in this saran wrap so I can keep it and maybe use it in another project. And I also want to put the white back away before it dries up. This stuff can get expensive. I know there's recipes you can make it at home. Like I said, I bought mine just for ease of use this time and to make sure I got it right. And this is what the little baby is going to look like. Okay, I don't know how well you can see. I added a little bit of peach on this to the baby's butt and the baby's cheeks. I added a little bit of brown pearl dust for the hair. This is what the little pink pillow is looking like. Okay, these were done last night. And then this is what the leaf looks like for this baby. And I'm going to show you here shortly how to make those leaves. But first, I want to stop the video, and I want to go ahead and pop these in the freezer so I can get them starting to set up. Okay, I'm back, and I am unrolling the green fondant. I colored this last night. I wrapped it up really well in some saran wrap because saran wrap is not wanting to let me unwrap it. So, anyway, I'll have to get a new piece of that. But I'm going to work the green until it begins to soften. My marble pen that I'm going to roll this out with happens to be marble. You can use any kind of rolling pin. Plastic, wood, whatever you have. It does not have to be like what I have. Okay, so I want to make that clear right off. I've had my rolling pin for years, and I love it. So it's what I use. Alright. I also think with the weight, it makes it really easy to roll things out. Now I'm going to roll this out. Because of the weight of my rolling pin, it is easier to move the fondant than to try to position the rolling pin in a different position. Okay, I think that's good. So what I have here is I have this little leaf fondant cutter. Very easy to use. All you do is put it in your fondant, press down. You want to press down on this part. Let me see if I can move that closer. Press down on this, and when you're satisfied it's through your fondant, press the little depressor down. Okay, let it up. Remove this. This is what it should look like now. Okay, I'm going to roll this up and get this out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to release that. It is that easy and that simple. Now I have this little leaf like this. And if you're wondering what I'm going to do with that, I will show you here on this baby that I made last night that is drying. I want my baby to have a cover over her little butt. So I'm going to start right up here, and I'm going to bend the leaf, and I'm going to mold it to her little body like that. Okay. This is what my little baby is going to look like when she's done. Now, because this is going on another little baby, the one that I put in the freezer, and I don't want it to end up sticking to this one, I'm going to go ahead and separate them. Do you see how my little leaf is now curved? Okay, I'm going to set my baby back up here, and I'm going to set my leaf back up here, and I'm just going to slide that in. That container is nothing more than a food-safe carrier that I picked up at my local craft store to store the fondant items, the sugar veil items, the isomalt items in, to keep them airtight. And I have also put some food-grade silica in the back of this. I don't know if you saw that, but I'll bring it up so you can see. Just to help absorb any moisture that might be collecting or coming out of any of these pieces as they dry. Okay, and these are the little babies that we made. They've been in the freezer for 20 minutes. They're ready to pop out of the mold now. So I'm going to turn my mold upside down. I'm going to gently start flexing it to get it to release. Okay, there's one of my babies out right now. They are very, very soft at this point. So you want to be careful because you don't want to break it. There's another little baby. And the pillow should be coming along here very, very shortly. Okay. Okay, I'll just unmold that pillow in my hand. Okay. And so there we have it. I'm going to take a little bit of cornstarch here. because these are feeling really, really sticky. And I'm just going to take a little bit of cornstarch. I'm going to kind of move these out of the way. And I'm going to add a little bit of extra cornstarch to my mat that these pieces can sit on. It's not going to hurt them. Okay. That's going to help keep them from sticking to the mat because, like I said, they're feeling really sticky to me. And then what I'm going to do, I want the two little babies glued together. This is just piping gel, completely edible. Okay, I'm going to take this little paintbrush. I'm going to dip it in. You can see I do not have a lot on that paintbrush. I'm going to pick up one of the little baby pieces. And I'm just going to brush the piping gel very lightly to the center of the baby. I think I need a little bit more there. Okay. And then I'm going to take the two pieces of the baby, as you can see, just very lightly. And I'm going to press the two pieces of the baby together. Now, they might not fit perfectly. And you're going to have some gaps like that, but that is all fixable. So, all I'm going to do is press these very gently together because the one thing I don't want to do is mess up the features on the front of the baby's face. Then I'm going to set the baby down. I'm going to seal up my piping gel so it doesn't harden. And I want to make sure that you can see that little crack in the baby. Okay, what I'm going to do to fix that, I need to go over here. I have this little cake decorating tool, and I'm not sure if it's the right thing to use, but I kind of played with it last night and it worked. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently work this until the two pieces of fondant kind of mesh together. And this might not be perfect. And like I said, it might not be, if you've had cake decorating training, it might not be what you're told to do, but it works. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of, like I said, push it together. I'm trying to work very gently because I don't want to mess up all of the little features of this. You can kind of push some of the bigger pieces together like this, because all we're really trying to do is seal that crack. Okay. And then I'm just going to take my hand on some of these areas and just smooth it. Because, like I said, that's really, really all we're trying to do. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about up here on the baby's butt, because I'm going to put that leaf there. But what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take just a little bit of the pink. Well, actually, you know, I'm going to do this different. I'm going to take some of the pink, and I'm going to put it on this pillow. I'm hoping. This is just pink pearl dust. I'm going to dust it on the pillow a little bit. Adding more as I need to. Okay, like that. You want to get the edges, because if you don't, when you put this on your cake or your cupcake or your pie or whatever you're going to use this on, those edges are going to still be white, and you don't want that. Okay. You want everything to match and look good. The back does not matter because that will be facing down. Okay. If for some reason that's not going to be the case with what you do, then the back will matter. I'm going to dust this off a little bit. I'm going to check and double check that I'm happy with the way things look. Because I think right there we could use a little bit more coverage. Okay. Then I'm just going to set the pillow. Dust off my hands a little bit. I'm going to set the pillow up here. Close that up. I'm going to take a piece of paper towel and try to dust most of the pink off of my gloves. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of this pink in this brush. Hoping I'm picking some pink up here. So I don't want too much. I just want a little, but I don't want it really pink. And I want to dust the baby's cheeks. Okay, because babies should have little pink cheeks. And I'm sorry this is out of camera. I just really need to see what I'm doing here. Okay, and because I think I overdid a little bit, I'm going to take a little paper towel, maybe a very fine detail brush, and I'm going to kind of dust the baby off a little bit. Because like I said, I want the pink cheeks, but I don't want overkill either. I had tried to look for a different color of pink that maybe wasn't so glittery when I was out today. And locally, I could not find that, so I'm just kind of working with what I have. I'm also going to do a little bit of a pink dust on the baby's butt. I know that leaf is going to cover that up, but just in case there's any that doesn't get covered. I don't want any pink right there. Okay, and then I'm going to take some brown. I'm going to give the baby some brown hair. I was able to find a non-glittery brown. Like I said, I could not find a non-glittery pink. I was looking. Not locally here anyway. And I'm just going to dip my paintbrush in. If you can't find this brown and the pearl dust, you could always use like cocoa powder or something like that. And I'm just dusting this on the baby's hair, trying to follow some of those lines that are molded in, but also trying to make sure that I get good accurate coverage, because we don't want the baby's hair to look funny. And some of this is going to fall off and get wasted. Just don't worry about it. Like I said, it's really not that big of a deal. This stuff really does last a long time, as long as you don't get crazy with it. And again, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm trying to add in paintbrush lines that give this hair a very realistic look, because that's really important to me. Maybe you don't care, or maybe you're going to do this just for fun and make some really wild colored babies. But for me, this is a really, really important feature. Okay. And there is, with a little bit of extra color that I'm going to brush off later on, there is my little baby. And as I said, I will, let me do it on here because this is going to be easier to show you. When the baby is done, baby will be laying on the pillow, and the leaf I will use the piping gel to attach the baby to the pillow and the leaf to the baby's butt. And this is what this is going to look like. So very cute, ideal for a baby shower or to give to a mother that's just had a baby. Just very, very cute. Very easy to do.